Hello, my friends. I did it again. I hate introing that way. It's so cheesy. We're going to take this again. What up, though? That might be just as cheesy, but I feel better about it. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet today. Good show. Very, very heated debate between me and Double, but that's just because he's an asshole. Or a masshole. Haha. See what I did there? Anyway, yeah, we talk about the upcoming games in the playoffs for football. We talk about, the NHL and the start of that season. And then we talk about all the movement that's happened in various leagues this week. And there's quite a lot of it. So, showtime. All right, welcome to this episode of Stone Sports. I am your host, Bert, aka Bert Bacharach. I guess that was Papa Dubs that suggested that, right, Double? Yeah, thanks, man. And with me, as always, I have my co-host, Dubs. Say what up, Dubs.
The fuck is up?
And Meech. Say what up, Meech.
What up? I'm a little surprised you didn't drag that out like Bert Bacharach.
No, just like I said, get in and get out. That's always the game plan. So, not much to talk about today. We got some news, I guess. We could talk about movement in, a few different leagues, and we could talk about the NHL. And, oh yeah, before we get to that, a few editorial notes I guess I need to make. So, one, the team with all the players that got, suspended, if you will, for lack of a better phrase, was the Stars, not the Blue Jackets. And two, technically opening night was last night. But, yeah. Anyway.
We have to issue a retraction.
Yeah, exactly. It's a retraction. So, thank God we're not like a legitimate publication. But anyway, let's talk about the NBA. Hey, that rhymed.
But you do deep throat. No, just
an expert. It's on his resume right underneath fucking insurance salesman.
I'm not an insurance salesman.
Same shit.
Okay, so let's talk about the NBA. I rhymed again. NBA is easy to rhyme with.
Bertie just goes, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes you got to cut him off early. He gets out of control and just says some really dumb shit.
Facts.
Just the verbal shit just starts flying out of his mouth.
Better watch what you say. I'm gonna cut something off you.
You better watch what you say. I'll cut something off your mom. So
fucking cut you off in a car, T-Bone.
Jesus, this escalated quickly. Why don't you both take hits? I took a fat one before we hopped on, and apparently both of you did not.
Yeah, well, Double had it in for me today, talking shit about my team, even though his team barely beat the Devils. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Hold on. We're 1-0. What are you? What are you?
Yeah, 0-1. 0-1.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
We lost to the Islanders. Only a conference final fucking team. You barely beat the Devils. I'll say it again. The New Jersey Devils.
Did you guys
in
score?
A shootout?
Did you guys score?
But if you want to talk about that,
if
you want to talk about that, we could just talk about that real quick. It's bullshit. We did score. They called goaltender interference on honestly, dude, I'm not joking. It's some of the worst officiating I've ever seen in a hockey game. It was straight garbage.
He's so mad he glazed right over my Martin Brodeur joke. Jesus Christ.
Uncle Daddy? You mean Uncle Daddy?
Uncle Daddy. Father, uncle, brother?
The Rangers podcast LS2 calls him Uncle Daddy, and it's so fucking true. But no, dude, it really was really bad officiating. It was so bad that the Islanders had a blatant goaltender interference, knocked him out of the crease, knocked him out of the paint. And the refs called it a goal, and it was such a bad call that they had to review it again and then called it no goal.
Well, you can be happy to know that it wouldn't have affected the outcome of the game.
Second.
No, it actually did affect
bitching
the
about a
outcome
call
of the
that was
game.
corrected?
Well, it was 4-0.
No. I'm just saying that's an example of how bad the officiating was. Dude, it was so bad. Mika Zibanejad got hit that, like, I wouldn't have been surprised if he walked away concussed. They didn't call it, and then not even 20 seconds later, they called Tony D'Angelo for a hooking call. And it's like, dude, if you're not going to call that, it was one of those games where it's like, no matter what the Rangers did, the refs were going to take them out of the game. And I'm not the guy to blame the refs. I'm always the guy that's like, yeah, you fucking sucked this game. But it really was the case. They called goaltender interference on a Rangers goal that, like, the goalie played the puck. It just went in. And their Rangers defenseman just, like, fell down on the side of the net, and they called it goaltender interference.
I feel like it's trash. You're the officiating Nazi. What do you mean you're not the one to blame the refs?
No, I'm not. I'm not a fucking
all the refs.
Yeah, because no, I just said in the NFL it's really bad because it is really bad. But I'm always the one that says, like, no, you lose the game 9 times out of 10, it's your team's fault. But tonight it really was the case. There were some calls that were made that were absolutely fair, but there were some calls that were made that was like, that's just nonsense. Like, absolute nonsense. Go watch the tape, man. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm not going to watch tape of a first NHL game of the year to watch how bad the officiating is, Bernie. Why don't you calm down? You're
Here's
like mid-season form right now.
Calmer than you are.
Here's your NHL stat of the day, boys. Stat of the show. Rangers have the worst goal differential in the NHL after one game.
That's like those fucking pitchers that have a 75 ERA at the beginning of the year.
Or like fucking who the fuck was it on the Red Sox? After the first game he had an infinite ERA this season. I was like, God damn it, we just throw in the towel.
Are we done? Are
you done?
I don't know. Are you done?
We can talk about some basketball.
So, what happened in the NBA, Meech?
The one that was just went on a tangent about his fucking hockey team on fucking opening night. Finally,
no, you gotta understand. You gotta understand. This shit's been brewing, dog. Because I've had a rough couple days. Double fucking knows that, and he's acting like a fucking dick in the chat all night.
He was legit sending screenshots of the score.
Yeah, it's like, dude, fuck off.
I didn't know if you were watching.
Moving on to the association again. Harden was traded.
Gone.
Traded. I did not know if it would happen this early in the season. Basically threw a fucking fit on the ground.
Is headed to Brooklyn.
I can't say I'm surprised he threw a fit.
Yeah, I don't know. I see that fucking meme you posted on Twitter, Meech, the KD putting up flyers looking for Kyrie.
Oh yeah,
he got chunky James Harden with his backpack waving at
dude.
Him
it was like a political cartoon, but for the Nets, dude. It was amazing.
It was good. It was real good.
Yeah,
but yeah, Kyrie MIA. He's missed the last 5 games. He hasn't played since January 5th. He went on a hiatus for quote personal reasons. Went to his sister's.
People were saying that they saw a cloud of smoke and then he disappeared. So maybe that sage just didn't have proper ventilation.
He fell off the.
What does that mean for personal reasons? Is this like a thing where, like, does he have COVID and he's just not saying?
No, he went to his sister's birthday party. He was on a Zoom call with the Manhattan DA candidate 30 minutes before tip-off.
Well, that was Cal Irving, so we don't know if that was for sure the same person.
No, it was Kyrie on the screen.
I know, but his name in his picture, like his box, was Cal Irving.
Oh, okay.
He kept their last name. Like, okay,
not
Irving.
Fooling anyone, bud.
Yeah. Great aliases often start with both your first initial and your last name.
Yeah. I'm going to start looking out for a Kyrie Irving burner named Cal Irving.
Yeah.
But, yeah, do we think the Harden trade was good? I'll give you guys what they gave up. It was a lot.
Yeah, it's probably not good.
So the Nets received James Harden and a second-round pick from Cleveland. The Cavs received Jarrett Allen and Taurean Prince from Brooklyn. The Pacers got Karis LeVert and a second-round pick. Oladipo ended up in OKC out of it from the Pacers. Oh, no, it was the Rockets. Sorry. I don't know why I said OKC. Maybe Durant. But Rockets got Victor Oladipo, Dante Rodion's Curix, that's a name. 4 first-round picks from Brooklyn and 1 from Milwaukee.
Woo!
4 first-round picks swaps with Brooklyn, so they get to take the best pick and give Brooklyn the worst of the two for 4 seasons after the 4 first-round picks.
Wait, you said for 4 seasons?
Yeah. So basically 8 first
Why'd
round
you even ask me if I think it's a good deal? You know the answer to that question.
This is going to be a dumpster fire of epic proportions, and I cannot wait to see it blow up in Brooklyn.
This is going to go down in history as one of the worst deals ever made. Like,
the only thing
I've
that
never
might
seen
work
anything
is,
like that.
I honestly think Harden and Durant can work together. And so
Kyrie's the one that can't.
Well, yeah, but that's I honestly believe that's one of the reasons they went out and got Harden, and why they spent so much getting him, because they have Durant for 2 years, I believe, and then he becomes a free agent after that. So their time frame is really right now. They can't count on Kyrie, and so they pulled the trigger on Harden. And even if Harden and Durant are the only 2 on that team as far as the big stars, and Cal Irving is continuing to pop up on Zoom calls across the
Uncle Cal Drew Irving.
Yeah, unless he's attempting to pop up on Zoom calls across the universe. He's a bonus
across this flat earth we have.
I mean, at least having Durant and Harden will get you there. We know what Harden can do. He's scored. He's a beast when it comes to scoring. One of the best scorers in the league every year. So he can put up numbers, and if he wants to be there, I don't understand why he wouldn't, because he's done it every year in Houston except for this year. So he's going to probably lose some weight, and him and Durant can probably get that team to deep in the playoffs in the East.
Yeah, but I mean, that deal sounds a little bit suspiciously like mortgaging the future of the team. So it's like, I hear you, like the window is now, and you do have to make the push anytime the window is open or closing rather, but
the Nets just
that sounds like mortgaging
to have
the future. Sorry, Dubs.
The Nets just refused to have draft picks. They gave us all of their draft picks from 2010 to 2020, and they gave Houston all their draft picks from 2020 to 2030. Like, they just don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's
like
you're like mortgaging your future at that point. Like, I don't know. Like, we'll see. I mean, I guess if you win a championship, it's worth it, right? I don't know.
Yeah. Did you see the quote Harden had the day before they got traded? They asked him about the situation, and he was like, well, quote, it's something that I don't think can be fixed. And then he was like, all right, thanks, got up and left. And then DeMarcus Cousins came out the next morning and said the disrespect started way before any interview. And he said something along the lines of, I don't care where James ends up. I didn't come here for him. I came here for John Wall.
Wow. Yeah, dude, that's...
So it is...
I mean, I don't even know what
it
to
was
say,
a
you know what
disaster
I mean?
down there.
That's... Like, I'm kind of speechless. Like, I don't even know what you say about that, man. But, like, you know, like I said, I think, like, you know, if you win a championship, I guess it's worth it. But to me, it's always a tough call because it's like, I get why teams make the push when the window is closing. I understand why you do that. But that's going beyond that, man. Like, that's mortgaging the future for a long time. And
right.
It's just like,
and it's a team that's already done it before. They did it with Boston, and it didn't work out then either.
Yeah, and it's like
right.
if I'm a fan of the team, I would honestly rather you not do that. Like, I would, you know, rather, like, to me, one championship is not worth, you know, a potential 10 years of pain.
Drought.
Yeah, like that's fucking stupid. Unless you're like the Mets, you know, then I get it. But, you know,
I mean, it boils down to, is a championship good, or is being competitive every year more of what you want?
Right, exactly. It does boil down to that.
Like, honestly, being a Dodger fan before they won this year, I will take the championship because it is so frustrating not having one for 30 years.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're like a Mets fan or something like that, you know, I get it. Yes, you will. You absolutely will. And I'm going to go on record and say, just like I said in the chat, when it happens to you, I won't be
I don't
a
want
dick
your
about
pity.
it. I won't be
I don't
a
want
dick
your
about it.
pity.
I'll be a bigger man. I'm going to be a nice guy about it.
That's
I'm gonna
fine.
be a prick because Boston
I know
at
he'll
some
be a
point
prick.
will experience a championship
It won't.
drought,
It just
and
won't.
It
I mean
just
they
will.
will.
It happens to
I know
every
your
single
life.
city.
I know your life has been privileged up until this point. That's not how sports work.
It's how Boston
Exactly.
works.
Oh my god. It's just ridiculous.
And a fan base couldn't deserve it more because you guys are just the
We
biggest
do.
prick.
We deserve every championship we've gotten. It's for the city. It's for the people. 617.
That are delusional. Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Brad?
It just is gonna make it so much funnier. Like if we're still doing a
Yeah.
podcast in a couple years and it's dark days for you, I'm gonna tack on this specific soundbite before the podcast and just be like, yeah.
I'm gonna-
And the
that's
intro
fine.
will
And-
just
and
be just me saying, yeah, that aged well, and then we'll start
And we
the
have
music.
this. If we have this conversation 3-4 years from now, and we've racked up another couple titles, and we'll talk. And I'll clip the soundbite at the front, and I'll look like a savant.
Savant. Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move
Yeah.
on from the association.
Yeah.
The hot stove started to get a little bit hotter. It started to get lukewarm.
We turned the heat on. It's on
Yeah.
a low. It's on the
Yeah.
lowest setting, but we turned the burners
It's
on.
simmering.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
ramping it up because they don't want to go too fast.
We put some salt in the water.
Yeah. White Sox continued what appears to be their run at the AL Central, acquiring Liam Hendricks. Has been the top 5 closers in the league the last couple of years, so that's a huge get for them. And we know they've added a new manager as well as a couple players in the offseason, so they look to be all in on winning the AL Central at least. Phillies signed Archie Bradley, help that bullpen. They had a
Big
team,
Archie Bradley guy.
Yeah, they had a team ERA of 7.02 in their bullpen last year. So Archie Bradley aims to curtail that.
Cartel. He's moving coke.
Curtail. Yeah, Archie Bradley is an interesting story because he's been in my division for the last several years, and at one point he was the star starting pitcher prospect. He's worked that into having a couple huge injuries and then worked his way back to being a relevant closer. So,
Speaking of
interesting case
injuries, I cut my finger. I'm playing through the pain right now.
there. Oh, brother. And then the Astros signed Pedro Baez. So a Dodger goes to the Astros. Honestly, a lot of Dodger fans are angry about this one. I don't care. As a player, you have to get paid. You should have no loyalties. Also, I know he improved last year. I am so happy to have Pedro Baez out of my bullpen. I couldn't be happier.
Liam Hendricks sounds like a guy who you'd find on the beach, just like surfing and crushing 6-packs.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he kind of looks like a guy like that too.
Yeah, he sounds like a cast member of the Real Bros.
Yeah.
You know, like my
Yeah,
boy
he does.
Liam got a GMC totally murdered out, 16-inch lift.
He throws like 6 surfboards in the back of that motherfucker. Go cruise down to the beach, have some brewskis.
For sure.
For sure.
All right, so I mean, apart from the nonsense that Double and I were talking earlier, the hostilities, there really wasn't much interesting that happened in the NHL opening night. It's pretty sloppy hockey, as one would
Bruins
expect,
won
without a preseason. Really, I mean, one interesting thing did happen where the Flyers beat the Penguins, which was, and they kind of like stomped them too, like 6-3. It's kind of like
good.
Oof. And I know it's too early to call it, but I really do think the Flyers are going to be up there this year. I think Tampa is obviously a threat. Double's going to talk all this shit. I don't think the Bruins are going to be as much of a threat as he wants to believe they are. They would have been until they started making some really stupid deals. But
And where will you guys be?
all right. Well, first of all, let me just say this. I've said numerous times on the podcast that this was not going to be our year.
You said you'd make the playoffs fucking 2 days ago.
I fucking did not.
You did. It's on the fucking podcast.
It
I will
isn't.
fucking pull it up. It is.
isn't.
I fucking.
No, it isn't. That's not what I
Yes, it
said.
I fucking
No, you're wrong because what I said
You were
is I said we won't make the playoffs this year. Next year we'll make the playoffs. That's what I said. Verbatim.
I'm gonna listen to it back.
Please do. And tomorrow
I will.
I'll wait your apology. Anyway,
It will be interesting to see how the hockey season shakes up because we've seen it with all of these sports that have had, have suffered through the COVID situation. I mean, they're getting paid millions of dollars and stuff.
Yeah.
So suffering is kind of but we've seen kind of trends
Probably
that have
sucks less
developed.
with a couple mil.
yeah, it does.
Yeah, we've seen trends that developed in the other leagues. I mean, the Marlins made it last year in the MLB playoffs. No one had them. So it'd be interesting to see what team reaches, the playoffs in the NHL, given the lack of training camp and some offseason moves that took place for sure.
Yeah,
and
man.
with the NHL playoffs, once you get there, it's no holds barred.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
any team can win.
Once you get there, it's up for grabs.
The best.
All you have to
NHL
do is get
playoffs
there.
are the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, NHL playoffs are the best postseason out of all the sports, honestly.
100%.
And baseball is sneaky good too in the postseason.
I would
Every
put them
pitch
number-
matters.
I would put them number 3 just behind the NFL.
See,
But that's because it's the NFL.
I actually kind of disagree, and this is I'm glad you said that, Double, because to me the difference is the problem with the NFL. I guess I just find it
One
frustrating.
game.
Yeah, is the one game bullshit because I really do
I don't
believe
like
that
it
like
either, but
a
you
real
can't do it.
champion doesn't win one game. A real champion beats you and then beats you again. Like that's
I
what
kind
a
of
real
like the one
champion
game. It
does.
makes it different from all the other.
No, I
sports.
get that.
That's the only reason I like it, is because it's different from the other 4. But I agree with you, Bertie. If they could find a way to do it but
I don't think they
with multiple
can.
weeks where they could play. I don't think they can either.
Yeah, like I'm not
that's a
necessarily
horrible
faulting them. Like I don't think they can. I'm just saying like there are so many like NFL playoff games that I've seen in my lifetime that have been won on like one bad play. And I'm sorry if you capitalize on one team's like one bad play, it doesn't mean you're the better team. It just means they fucked up.
No, but that means that's what brings
It adds
excitement to the
yeah.
NFL.
No,
as a
I
whole
agree-
league.
I agree with you.
every
I'm not
week is
saying-
like that. It's one chance. So like, and that's why I think the regular season of the NFL is so much more impactful. That I kind of think the postseasons, like, you don't get the greatest matchups. You don't get there's
That's true.
It's not as good as the other ones. Meanwhile, the regular season dominates all of the other sports.
Right.
I mean, I get excited for when baseball comes back, and then I kind of tune out for a couple months, and then I come back. So like, and
I do
I
the
don't
same
even pay
thing.
attention too much to NBA. That I'm just not a huge NBA guy.
Me neither.
And then NHL, I'll watch a couple games, and then when the postseason happens, I jump all in on the NHL playoffs.
Yeah, you
I'll
know
watch every
your
Celtics
Kings are
game I
playing the
can.
Wild tonight.
Yeah, it's 1-1 right now.
I know. They should win that game, by the way. If they don't win that game, I would be upset if I was you.
That's a game I couldn't give less
I'm
of
not
a
gonna
fuck
take
about.
it personally.
Like, if I saw the Kings Wild on, I'd probably just verbally goat you. Be like, I don't want to watch that shit.
Hold on, it's not the
Oh,
Capitals
what's on
and the
NHL Network
Sabres.
tonight? Ew.
I'd rather watch that.
Dude. I'm disappointed in you.
The Sabres have
Anyway.
fucking Jack Eichel and Taylor Hall.
I
I'd
know
rather
they
watch
do.
them.
They're probably going to be pretty good this year, I think.
Yeah,
That's like my
exactly.
hot take is like people are going to expect the Sabres to suck, and they're probably going to be pretty good.
That can be your hot take for hockey, and mine was the Suns, and they've panned out so far. But it is early for NBA.
Yeah, I mean, it's early in, the NBA
Well,
and the
no
NHL
shit.
to call anything, really. But let's...
So that's why it's a bold prediction.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
Speaking
it's
of predictions.
a hot take. Well, isn't there some movement in the NFL we need to talk about before we really get to the
Oh, you're totally right.
the games of this weekend?
Urban Meyer picks up the Jags job. NFL fucking here we
Hold
come.
on, didn't we all say that wouldn't happen?
We did.
Yeah, that didn't age well.
No.
Oh
did
well,
not.
you win some, you lose some. That's the way
He
it
won't be
goes.
there for that long. I don't know how long his deal is. I keep looking for details, but I honestly don't see him being there for more than 2 years. I feel like he has had health problems at each stop, and I don't think he should be coaching. I think you just can't get the coaching out of a coach. I feel like, certain coaches are just meant to coach forever, I feel like. And I think Urban's like that. He's tried to walk away from it a couple times. And this is a unique opportunity. It's something he's never done before. It is in the NFL. And he will have, I believe, personnel control for the first year. But I think he has like an 85% win percentage in college.
Something stupid. It's
And
I think you're right. It's like
that
84,
just
85.
won't happen in the NFL.
Right. And he's used to full, like you said, he have personnel control the first season, but he's used to full control over the players and shit too. And that's just not.
Well, and he's used to stacking 5-star recruits at every position.
Exactly.
I mean,
Right.
college football is all about the rich getting richer. It's not like they get 1 5-star recruit. They just double stack them. I mean, Mac Jones was recruited when Tua was still there. Like they just keep rolling it in. And so you're used to getting, essentially 5 first-round picks out of every recruiting class at least. And he's going to have one. It's probably going to be Trevor, but we'll see how much those losses take a toll on him in the NFL, because you can't be as successful as he was in college. You just can't.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to watch. I'm actually like kind of hyped for it. Here for it.
Definitely have my eyes on the Jags.
Yeah. Right before the podcast, Jets hired Robert Saleh,
D coordinator for the Niners the last few years. He's been great there. Jets going ahead and pick him up. Did you see how long it was for me? Should they announce that yet?
5-year deal. So he's there for a while. That's a good length.
How do you feel about that? You think it's a good move?
I think it's a good move. He was one of the, as defensive coaches go, he was one of the top candidates.
Right. Do you think that's what they need?
I mean, it's hard because I still think that defensive coaches are valuable. But I mean, you look at like Andy Reid, who's the new hot coaching tree that everyone's picking from. He can continue to lose offensive coordinators because at the end of the day, it's his system. He's an offensive coach. And that's kind of what being an offensive coach brings to the table versus like a defensive coach who, if a defensive coach has a great O coordinator, they're going to be hired the next year. I mean, we saw it with Sean McVay. Everyone that was on his offensive staff got plucked. And so He could withstand that because he himself is basically the coordinator, play caller, all that stuff. You can stand to lose those people, but defensive coaches can't stand that once they start having success as much. So we'll see. I still think defensive coaches bring value to the table.
It was a solid take, Beach.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Dub. Something like solid ass take. Way to go. All right, so you boys want to preview some games?
The preview.
Oh, no, hold on. There's so much more to cover than those. So, coaching hires. The Lions also hired a GM. Broncos hired a GM. Texans hired a GM a couple weeks ago, but
Nick
I don't feel like we
Caserio,
talked
my
about
boy.
that. Yeah, they've only been trying to hire him for 2 years, and that's what pissed off Deshaun Watson initially. Seahawks fired their OC, Brian Schottenheimer. Cowboys brought in Dan Quinn as their new defensive coordinator. So a ton of personnel
And the
moves.
Raiders got Gus Bradley.
That's right. They got Ken Wisenhunt. I mean, Gus Bradley. They put out a picture of Ken Wisenhunt on.
They did. I didn't see the picture because they took it down, but I saw people talking about it.
You know, it's funny because without knowing that the day before, I looked at it and I was like, I don't think that's what Gus Bradley looks like.
Yeah, I saw it after they changed it, but I saw in the replies and shit on Twitter, everyone was like, oh, now they got Gus Bradley up there.
Gus Bradley's been one of the more, I mean, he was a head coach in the league, so anytime you're a head coach, you kind of know what the guy looks like. And then also, he's been one of the top defensive coordinators, just like Saleh. Everyone knows what Saleh looks like, and everyone knows what Dan Quinn looks like, and all, any coordinator.
Enemy for the Chiefs.
Any coordinator that's on the, either been a head coach before or on the periphery of being a head coach, you know what they look like. And so when I saw that picture, I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure that's not Gus Bradley. Pretty sure. And then it ends up, I heard that the next day that it was not.
Oops.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a big oops.
The Eagles get rid of their head coach, Super Bowl winning, has made the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years.
Oh, we heard your rant.
And
Yeah.
they are interviewing everybody. And I hate that. Why? If you get rid of somebody, you should
They
have
no idea who they're
Yeah,
replacing
exactly.
them with.
Exactly. And that's what pisses me off the most. I hate when people don't know who they're replacing. If you're firing someone, your first question is who should we
But
bring
hold on. Because
You know,
I
like, who
pictured-
should we bring in to replace them?
I hear
I
you.
picture Jeffrey Lurie walking into the Peterson's empty office to go yell at him, and then just going, well, what do we do now? And just like kicking rocks in his empty office.
Then he goes over to Howie's office to scream at him, and then Howie gives him a present. He's like, "I love you, son."
No, he just gives him a full-on blowjob because there's no other way
Yeah.
that guy's still
Yeah.
fucking there.
You know, I was going the G-rated version of that, but you
No,
were
he's blowing him.
unequivocally correct there. Like, I have no idea how he's not even close to being on the hot seat. Like, it's,
Snorting lines off his fucking dick.
You don't
Yeah.
think that maybe they're
Pretty
just
much.
interviewing a bunch of people to get kind of, because I've seen teams do this in the past. Like they probably have a couple guys they're eyeing. I was going to say iring. I don't know what that
Eye
is.
hawking.
hey.
But they probably have a couple guys they're eyeing, but they're just interviewing as many people because you get like free information when you do that. You know, like it's free ideas essentially.
I mean,
So
I
that
think it
could
makes
be
you
the
look
case.
really unorganized when you do that. That being said, everyone doing meetings over Zoom, a ton of people have gotten interviews that I don't even think would have gotten an interview had it not been for Zoom. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. But one of the guys we were interviewing is Kellen Moore, and I just want to cry because, I mean, you heard it from me last week. I was so happy he stayed with the Cowboys, and now we're interviewing him. And I
would
I'm
be
so
so
sorry,
fucking
man.
happy. I'd be so
I
happy.
am so scared for the direction that this franchise is headed in. Sorry, they kind of like wove into the personnel hirings and stuff there, so I had to bring that up. I didn't mean to rant on the Eagles for 10 minutes.
No, it's
Jesus.
okay, man. It's all right. We got time to fill today, baby. That's all right.
But you know what it's time for?
I do. Go ahead.
Preview.
Oh, did
Preview.
Meach do a preview there?
The preview.
Yeah.
Playoff preview.
I'm here
Full.
for it.
I've just fully embraced it. You know, if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah,
you know, and
that's so
that's
true.
what I'm doing.
Hop on the bandwagon, buddy.
Mentally,
Oh, yeah.
it's less exhausting for me to just jump right in.
All right, well, let's get into this. We got Rams Packers first up on the docket. Where we going, boys?
Darnell Dockett.
Darnell Dockett. That's
That's
a
a
name.
It's a name. He had some crazy hair. I'm going with the Packers.
I think that's a good call because Aaron Rodgers is just like he's on one this season, man, and I think it's a good call.
He's really
Yeah.
good. Their Rams defense is number 1 in the league. They held Russell Wilson under 200 yards last week and to a 75 rating. And the Packers left tackle, David Bakhtiari, is out with a torn ACL. But Rodgers and Devontae Adams are an absolute fucking unit. And I don't know. I feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to get it done in the playoffs. He's on the fuck you tour.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like the only reason that I could say you would pick the Rams in this game is because of their defense.
Right. And I
Yeah.
just
I mean,
feel
yeah,
like
that's-
Aaron Rodgers could overcome a defense.
Yeah.
Granted,
Yeah,
it is the
that's
Rams.
the only
and they've
reason
been
they're in the
phenomenal.
conversation at all. The Bears also have a good defense, and he tore that one apart, though. So I mean, I'm also picking the Packers here. The weather. I tried to do that on the low key instead of like introing it like I usually do. Just gotta tuck it in there.
No, man, you got to give me space to do the sting.
This
man.
week on Weather Covers the Spread, a dome team goes to Lambeau, home of the biggest home field advantage in the league still to this day. Like I said, I think they've lost 2 or 3 games at home the last 2 years. So kind of crazy. And I just think the Packers are a better overall team. And I think that their offense can weather the defense they're about to face. It might be a close game. I'm not saying it won't be close, but
Yeah.
I think it's
I
gonna be
eventually
really
think the
close.
Packers will pull through.
Yeah, I
I think it
agree
comes
with you. It's
down
going to be
to,
really close as well.
I think it comes down to an Aaron Rodgers game-winning drive.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a close game, and I think the Ravens Bills game is gonna be close too. What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be close, but I think the Ravens win by somewhere around a touchdown because the Bills are not that good against the run, and we know how good the Ravens are.
Yeah.
Like
Solid analysis.
The Ravens rush offense and the Bills run defense, that's the biggest gap between them. And the other gaps in the different facets of the game aren't enough for me to take the Bills.
Okay.
I'm actually taking the Bills.
Let's go.
Yeah.
One of the reasons, weather. Ravens play in the cold as well, but Lamar Jackson from Florida stated he did not want to play in the snow. Guess what it's supposed to do on Saturday? Snow.
It's supposed to snow during my shift too.
Yeah. So that should be, you would think that would be a plus for the Ravens. As we know, they're the best rush attack in the league, as far as they have just so many weapons that can rush. They've been splitting out their two backs. Dobbins has looked good. Gus the Bus has looked good. And then Lamar Jackson himself is part of that rush attack. So it's the most push-up. What?
I'm calling Lamar Jackson the Flash from now on. He's the Flash.
You want to see me touch that rock? You want to see me do it again?
Sorry, I interrupted you. My bad.
So the they have one of the best rush attacks, which you think would be better in the snow, but I just think the Bills are going to win at home. They're going to have some fans in the stadium again, and even though they weren't the best team last week, the best team that was playing last weekend, the Colts played better than them. The Bills still found a way to win. And I think that they're going to win again this week, even though the Ravens have looked like a steam train that is just storming ahead.
Their defense is just getting better as they go, and I think they're going to be able to keep that up. And like I said, the offense is – I think their run offense is going to be the difference.
Yeah, and it might be. I like the Bills at home in the snow. I feel like they're more suited to it than the Ravens. I think we're going to
differ on two picks here, Mitch.
Well, I just want to say the Ravens-Bills game is actually probably the game I'm looking forward to the most, apart from the Browns and the Chiefs. Just because I'm behind the Browns 100%. I want the Browns to win. I know they most likely won't win this game. But I really
Birdie's on a one-way trip to Browntown, which is the factory of sadness.
Yeah, I know.
Birdie's on a Browns bender the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, so don't tell me you're not behind them too. I know you are. You want them to win.
I do, but the Browns.
I want them to win, but they won't.
They already had their Super Bowl.
That's what I just said. That's what I just said. I know they won't win, but I want them to.
Oh. Well, that's.
I thought you were picking them.
Yeah, that's stupid.
No, my bold pick is yet to come.
Oh, we're on the same fucking bold pick. God damn it. I said I wouldn't do it.
So you think the Chiefs are going to win, huh?
I'm taking the Chiefs. The Browns, they had their Super Bowl last week. They showed up against the Steelers. They almost gave it away. They still gave up 500 yards through the air. If they come at the Chiefs with that soft-ass pass defense, that's going to get exposed. And like I said, I just think they had their game. This is it.
They also got super lucky last week. I mean, a lot of things went their way. And not saying that they didn't take advantage of it. They did, and they ended up winning the game. But you're not going to get a defensive touchdown on the first hike of the game every game out there. And I just think that the Chiefs are going to win. I want the Browns to win. I wanted Andy Reid to get a Super Bowl. He got one. Now I'm rooting for the Browns, but the Chiefs are going to win. They just have so many weapons, and I know they haven't been blowing people away, but they're rested, and I think they're going to just be able to pick apart, like you said, this porous pass defense. They will have Denzel Ward back, but even then, there's just so many weapons for you to cover. Try doubling Hill or Kelsey. You just get beat by one of the other clowns in the backfield or
they'll hit
core.
McCole Hartman or the running back. Like use too many weapons.
Sammy Watkins will dust off his walker and beat you a couple times.
Yeah,
so many weapons, and so even though the Chiefs, they don't have Clyde Edwards, right? He's out for the year.
I believe he's done. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, even though they won't have a rush attack, they just have so many weapons, and I do think they'll beat them.
Look at like Gilbert Arenas' car, all the weapons they got.
Weapons charges for days.
All right, so my bold pick is that the
Agent
Bucks are
Zero.
going to beat the Saints. That's my pick. They're going to beat the Saints.
I'm also on the Bucks. God damn it,
Yeah,
Birdie.
let's go.
God damn it.
Let's
God damn
go.
it. Every time I've been on a pick with you this season, it's lost.
I mean,
You
every
know
time
that?
I've made a pick this season, it's lost. So
Yeah, I know. And
Oh God! Well, I was gonna pick the Bucks, but not with that
God
information.
damn
now.
it. Doesn't he make you want to go down Saints now?
Yeah, right. Birdie
it.
picked
God
up.
damn
Do
it.
it.
Nope, I'm riding
Do
with
it.
Brady. Fuck it.
Yeah, I
Fuck
think
it.
the Bucks are gonna win here as well. Actually, so we're all in on this pick together. They beat them twice. It's so hard to beat a team 3 times in
And you
this
don't
league.
beat Brady 3 times.
Yeah, not to mention they have looked a lot better. It seems like the offense is clicking. Everyone thought that the Washington Football Club's pass rush would get to Brady. The Bucks
I want
offensive
Tom.
line.
I want
Yeah.
Tom. Do you?
Yeah. As Arian said, be careful what you wish for. The greatest quarterback ever beat them last week and was kept clean with his line. And so I think that the Bucks are going to be able to pull out a win here just because of the way they're playing. And they just have so many weapons.
And historically, if you keep Tom Brady clean, they're going to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I put. If the Saints can get to him, which they do have a great defensive line as well.
Cameron
my
Jordan
only-
and the fuck's the other guy's name? Hendrickson, they're both double digits in sacks this year.
Yeah, both great players. Like I said, the only thing that gives me some confidence is that Bucks line really held up last week when everyone expected it to be a bloodbath. Basically, that was the best part of Washington's team, and so the fact that the Bucks weathered that storm and kept him clean gives me more hope for the third matchup, which I just don't think the Saints are going to beat them again.
yeah, I was saying too.
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
the Saints just have horrible playoff luck.
The worst playoff luck.
So
Nobody
betting
gets
against
fucked
them,
in the playoffs like the Saints.
yeah. No one gets fucked like the Saints in the playoffs. So that being said, I wouldn't be shocked if something weird happened and it fucked over the Saints because it's like a yearly tradition at this point.
Minneapolis Miracle, pass interference.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games where if the Bucks play everything just the right way, they'll win. But if they give up a little bit of ground, it might not go their way, dude. Like
You gotta get up
I don't think
early,
there's
I think.
I don't think there's a large margin for error in that game.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Also, the Bucks rush defense is pretty good. If they keep Alvin Kamara in check, I think that's the key to winning the game for the Bucks. Keeping him in check, making sure that Breeze has to throw, and then keeping Tom Brady clean. Those are the two keys for this game.
And Bernie, to add to your point, I don't think there's much margin for error in any of these games. I think they're all going to be pretty close.
Yeah, I was actually literally about to say that, man. Way to go. Literally every single game here I think will be close. The only one I could see not being very close
Chiefs, Browns.
Yeah, exactly. I could see that being a blowout, but I could see the Browns, surprising everyone if they just
I can
get
see
a
them
little bit of
hanging
luck.
in like a 31-24 game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if they can keep the game from getting away from them, it'll at least be close. All right, so I have a question because we got about 10 minutes to fill here really before we hit the hour mark, right? That's the goal. So I got a question here. I heard this on NHL radio the other day, and I thought it was a really interesting question, so I want to ask you
I don't
this.
like you like that. God.
Check yes or no.
So anyway,
Give it up.
You've received a note. Check yes or no.
check yes or no. All right, the question is, if your team, and we'll go through all the major sports, and if you want, I'll answer first. If your team never existed, who would you root for? And I'll answer first if you want. If it wasn't the Mets, honestly, and a couple of mine might make you both a little irritated. If it wasn't the Mets, it's probably the Red Sox because my dad's a big Red Sox guy. He was a big Ted Williams guy, so probably the Red
Everyone's a big
Sox.
Ted Williams guy.
Football, obviously, it's the Chargers. Hockey is the toughest one for me.
Wait, wouldn't it be the Rams?
No.
Yeah, you have to
damn
pick
it.
your alternate team, not your favorite team, Birdie. I think you read the rules wrong.
You asked the question.
Double, you're a dick.
How do you get the rules wrong?
Well played, Double. Well played.
Hockey, probably gonna go.
Bruins.
No,
A Boston sweep.
I mean I don't hate the Bruins. I never really have. I don't hate them. I just hate Brad.
Brad?
The Maple Leafs, maybe. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I know. Yeah, see, I knew that was gonna piss you off, but I like some of their players, and you know.
Oh, you
they're
like whiny
classy team.
bitches?
You really want to talk about whiny bitches when you're a Boston Bruins fan? Do we want to talk about that? I don't think we
Excuse
want
me?
to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. I've been nice enough for the last 20 minutes. I don't need to get back to. You're not going to drag me back down there, Double. Stop trying to drag
Come
me back
back
down.
down, bitch.
Yeah, you guys almost fucking took off the gloves fucking in the early set. I was just sitting here watching the.
I did drop the gloves. He sent me to the box for instigation.
Two for instigation.
Okay,
Little Sean Avery.
Yeah.
Sean Avery.
Fitting from a Rangers fan.
I hated Sean Avery. Although the
Also,
Ooga
too-
Booga goal was amazing. That was one of the best things I've ever seen. Did you see that? Were you old enough to see that?
I don't know. I think it was on like restricted access.
They didn't have parental controls when you were growing up. Stop lying.
And if they did, your mom definitely didn't use them.
Yeah,
100%.
But basketball, I mean,
Staying home alone at
I
7.
don't
There's no
give
parental
a fuck
controls.
about basketball. So, like, I don't know. I'm just gonna pick a weird team, like Toronto, maybe, or like I'm not gonna pick the Nets.
fuck?
Yeah, like I don't give a fuck about basketball, so I don't care. But who you picking in baseball, Meech? If the Dodgers never existed, and the question
Royals.
originally was, you can choose not to root for a team, but you can't do that this time. I'm making it so you
Cubs.
have to pick a team.
Cubs for
well,
baseball.
I thought about the Cubs too.
My AL team has always been like the Mariners. I always rooted for them growing up just because they were in a
And the
different
Cubs
division
are
than
my
the
NL
Dodgers.
team, so we're in the same boat.
Yeah. The Dodgers have always been ingrained into me, so I've just never thought about it. But in the AL, I picked the Mariners because first of all, I like their color scheme, and then secondly, they had fucking Griffey. Like you just couldn't. They had
Dude, you don't have to
Griffey,
tell me I
and-
wasted hours of my life playing Slugfest on N64. Like, not
I
even
had
hours,
Ken
Ken Griffey
days.
Jr.'s fucking Major League Baseball 1997 on my N64, and I wore that thing the fuck out.
Yeah, man, me too. And the best part is you could like turn the salary cap off and just make like any trade you wanted to. Like at one point I had like Mike Piazza, Derek Jeter, Griffey, like just like every good
I would
player
make-
on the same team.
So I would
Put
make a
good players on the
season,
team though.
but so on
I mean, that might be the
fucking-
dumbest thing you've ever said on the show, but you know, we'll move on.
on the Ken Griffey 97, you could make a season, but you couldn't simulate any games. So if you made a season, you had to play 100.
Oh, I know. I played them.
So I would make it. My 7-year-old self would make a fucking team, play 14 games with them, go, I'm done with this, and then make a new team. And then
That's the difference
that
between you
all
and me,
week.
because I played the whole fucking thing, dude. Like I was in. Like I did all of it.
Yeah, I did that shit too. I always played the whole sports. Like I'd play every game this season.
I do that shit now.
Yeah.
But
right.
back then, when I'm fucking 8, I'm like, now I want fucking Manny Ramirez on my team.
Yeah, so the Mariners would be my baseball team. So because, like I said, Griffey, Jay Buhner, Edgar Martinez, like just beast. And then they had Ichiro later on. Like I just rooted for them. In basketball, it would probably be the Toronto Raptors because Vince Carter was a goddamn beast. Either
him
them or the
too.
Pacers because I loved Reggie as well. Like Reggie Miller, and I played like an
Those are
NBA
both
shoot
good
around like
ones.
96. I rocked out with Reggie Miller and Rick Smits. So maybe them, but probably the Raptors just because Vince Carter is just boss.
So sentimental wise for NBA, I'd probably go with the Pacers because I have family in Indiana. But just based off of other shit, I think I'd go with the Magic because they have bomb ass jerseys.
Yeah, they
in
do.
college.
I thought about
And they
the
had Teddy and
76ers for a minute too, and then I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Gross. Bad logo, bad jerseys, bad team, bad people. NHL, I'm going to go with the Calgary Flames. They're
Why?
the
Because
first
of
team
Mika
I had
Kiprusoff?
One Mika Kiprusoff.
I mean, he was the brick wall for a minute, dude. That dude
Dion
was shit.
Phaneuf.
Mika Kiprusoff's my favorite hockey player besides a Bruin
Right,
ever.
right. No, he was the
best.
man. And Jerome Iginla was the man.
That team with rookie Phaneuf, Jerome Iginla, fucking Mika Kiprusoff. That was the first franchise mode I did on an NHL game. I was a Calgary Flames. Special place in my heart, that team.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah,
pick.
I like the Calgary Flames playing NHL too, but I have to go. Oddly, I picked a lot of Philadelphia teams when I was younger. When I was younger, I loved the Flyers because Eric Lindros was a goddamn beast.
They pop. Their jerseys pop. The logo pops.
I mean,
Yeah,
Eric
the
Lindros
black and
is
orange
the
looks
man,
great.
but the
Eric
Philadelphia
Lindros
Flyers,
is the man.
Oh, they're just the worst.
I have to
Yeah.
hate them, but their jerseys pop.
Yeah, no, they
Their
do.
jerseys pop, and Eric Lindros was just such a beast. So we'd have to go them for my hockey team if I didn't like the Kings.
Where are we?
I would-
Football now?
Yeah, football.
Detroit
This
Lions.
is the one that interested me. What? Why?
I don't know.
He likes pain. Like he has no perspective of what
sadist.
pain is. So
Yeah, he's
wants
got
to
no
feel
skin
it
in
out.
that game.
Like,
Yeah,
I
he's got
don't-
no skin in that game. That must be why. What about you, Meech? Because that's the one I was really interested in. Was your football pick? Because you like the Eagles, which is kind of weird for you. So
And I like them because when I was growing up, so my dad was never really. My dad was a huge baseball guy.
Ah,
Loved
new
the
pick.
Dodgers.
Sorry. Seahawks.
No, you said Lions. We're gonna keep that.
All right. I'll live with that.
My dad was always a huge Dodger fan, but he didn't really like football. So, like growing up, I was kind of looking at teams, and I basically settled on the Eagles because of their like logo, and I like their jerseys and stuff. And then I just have stuck with them forever. I mean, Deuce Staley was a running back when I first started watching them. Now he's a head coaching candidate.
right.
But before them,
Their jerseys are why I don't like them.
I like their jersey. I like their black jerseys the best. Like the black.
I like
fair.
the
The
I like the
blacks are
logo,
good.
but I don't like the whole jersey.
I like- Agreed. I like the logo. I wish they had used a different green.
Yeah,
Like,
the
green just doesn't
logo
do it
has
for me.
always just that's why I picked them. And then but before that, slightly before that, I also kind of like the Jags. It was like between the Jags and the Eagles, and I picked the Eagles, thank God.
Good pick.
Yeah. But back in the day, Mark Brunell and who was their running back? Fred
Taylor.
Taylor.
He retweeted me or liked my tweet. Something. I got something
Yeah.
from Fred Taylor.
Yeah. So like back in the day, like when I was deciding, that was the team I was watching growing up, and I always kind of liked their jerseys as well. Their logo wasn't as good as the Eagles, and I just like the Eagles players better. So I ended up picking the Eagles, like in like 6th grade, 5th grade, something like way back when.
Remember
But,
when
yeah,
we
so-
beat you guys in 2005?
Huh?
So remember when we beat you guys in 2005?
Jesus, I can't with you.
Such a
But
dick.
yeah, who's your other? Oh, you said the Chargers, huh, Brady?
Yeah,
Rams.
it would have to be the Chargers. I always liked the Chargers.
Rams.
Remember Fouts? Do you guys remember Fouts?
Steve Fouts.
Dan.
Dan Fouts.
I just
Dan
made
Fouts.
up a first name.
Daniel.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, remember that guy? They said his name like a few weeks ago, and I was like, "Holy shit, that is
Like,
a
Dan
blast
Fouts,
from
I've
the
totally-
past."
I've totally
Did he
heard that
retire
name, but I
from-
couldn't tell you what he did, where he
Did he
played, anything.
retire from commentating? Because he used to always be on the afternoon game.
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been watching football really again until this year for quite a while. So
I feel like I haven't seen Dan Fouts in forever. I wonder if he retired because
I don't know,
always
but
saw
he's
the
a fucking
broadcast
legend.
booths.
Like that mustache was ridiculous. to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that mustache was like Burt Reynolds, like Sam Elliott level, Tom Selleck level dopeness. It was fucking amazing.
In 2018, Fouts continued to be a color commentator and analyst for CBS Sports during NFL games. On April 10th, 2020, it was announced that CBS had parted ways with Fouts.
I wonder why. I wonder
Okay.
why. All right, well,
I don't know.
that's all
Maybe
I've
not
got.
enough people.
Somebody
knew
was
him or
threatened
something.
by his mustache.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Watch it actually turn out to be something terrible, and now we're gonna look like
He was giving
we're all
away
gonna look
mustache
like
rides for
assholes.
charity, and they
I
just
didn't. I
couldn't take it
didn't
anymore.
suck his dick like you guys did. I'll be fine.
You're such a dick double. Anything else you want to say, boys, before we get out of here?
No.
Once again, let me reiterate: New York Rangers worst goal differential in the NHL after game 1. And that's the show. Signing off.
Birdie's fucking
Birdie.
so mad he can't even speak at the moment.
Birdie, anything else?
Peace.
You're a dick
Peace.
double, but I still love you.
Love you too, buddy.
All right, follow us on all the social media. That's Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. It's all Stone Sports Podcast. Tweet at Double and call him a fucking asshole. Peace.
You can as long as you follow the show.
Later.
Peace.